Friends, it's day 768 of the two-day Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
В горячей войне мы Украину победим за 2 дня. Чего ее побеждать-то, господи?
And the Russian terrorists came up with a new desperate attempt to tie Ukraine to the ISIS attack in Crocus Hall, Moscow. Guys, it's truly hilarious. The only time Russian misinformation had brought me so much joy was when all kinds of the Russian and especially Western pro-Russian degenerates on Twitter were burying General Zaluzhny. I think it lasted for a month or so. Anyways, as you probably know, earlier this year, Putin, also known as Huilo, received a warning from the Western intelligence about a possible ISIS attack, and after successfully ignoring this warning and doing absolutely nothing to protect his own citizens, more than 100 of the Russian concert goers died at the Crocus Hall due to the ISIS terrorists that were apprehended while trying to escape to Belarus. Their escape route was confirmed by the Russian ambassador to Belarus and even the Belarusian dictator Lukashenko himself. As of today, we know that even Iran warned Russians about the possible attack. According to Reuters, several days before the attack, Tehran contacted Moscow regarding the ISIS preparing to hit Russian civilians. Last week I published a video about a Russian professor, political scientist and big supporter of Putin who suggested that the attack was organized by the Western countries, who used humanoid drones programmed by the Ukrainian intelligence. You can check this video in the description. This time, Russian General Vladimir Ovchinsky suggested that the ISIS terrorists were controlled through microchips installed in their bodies. Let me quote this Russian general. Psychotropic substances were used in complex with the neuropsychological programming, and maybe this will be shown by the examination that the chips were actually inserted. End of quote. Ovchinsky believes that terrorists had disconnected consciousness. Major General is confident that people can be controlled with the help of neurobiology. He added that behind the terrorist attack in the Crocus City Hall was not some kind of pseudo-ISIS group, but Western Special Services, because only the Western Special Services are capable of using chips to control terrorists. Couple words about the Russian Major General Vladimir Ovchinsky. Doctor of law, this dude is literally a Russian PhD. Advisor for the Russian Minister of Interior and, check this out, a former chief for the Interpol in the Terrorist Federation. You know, I asked my friends from the intelligence service about the microchips they commonly use to control minds, and this is what they've sent. Please don't show this to Russian terrorists, because they might want to try those on the Russian population, you know, to check if they can control minds. But jokes aside, the Russian terrorists are desperate and crazy, and this is something I truly enjoy. Recently, the Russian propagandists photoshopped these postmarks. It showed up in the Russian monitoring channels like yesterday. They were like, you see how those evil Ukrainians celebrate the deaths of civilian people. Frankly saying, nobody in Ukraine celebrated the ISIS attack in Moscow. We celebrate things like this, because only Russians enjoy celebrating every single time Russian missiles or drones kill civilians in Ukraine. But you know, since Russians printed those postmarks themselves, I'd love to buy a bunch just to keep as a reminder that the Terrorist Federation is full of sick people, let alone those scarce imbeciles who support Putin on the West. With that, my friends, I wish you all a beautiful day. I'm operator Starsky. As always, be safe.